Did you know that William's active skill negates any type of skill damage buffs? This includes talents, skills, and even civilization like the Ottoman. A lot of people gloss over this fact and just simply focus on the damage factor. And in 2025, this is low, even with the Byzantine buff, which is now 1600. But the rest of his kit, if you look at the whole package, the second skill still holds up so very well. 20% attack, 15% march speed, and 10% more damage while outside of territory. On its own, this is very good, but in a KvK format like Siege of Orleans, this is great. This is probably one of the best calorie skills you can have, period, on your march. Third skill. Third skill is possibly one of the reasons behind this video, and it's why he's making waves again in 2025. And on first glance, if you read this skill just a couple months ago, you probably didn't realize, it's not that great anymore, even though it does direct damage factor, and it's an insta-proc damage of 1500 if expertise and 1400 if not expertise. So it's not much of a difference if he's expertise or not, which is honestly phenomenal. So what makes it so good? Well, now with the release of combo damage and the combo mechanics, any type of chances to proc are increased if you have the relevant armaments, such as causative, which is 8% chance to activate, or 20% chance from butterfly effect. And in turn, this makes it go from possibly 18% to 30% chance to fire off, so very, very frequently. And even with the cooldown with 5 seconds, it adds up to that amount, and it's just simply worth using and using on the field. So this makes his active skill, which is lacking, totally make up for it in his actually. And in probability, this skill simply does more damage in his active skill, which is insane. Fourth skill. Fourth skill is, I would say, the most famous skill of William, and it's for good reason. Like, just for 1 point you get so much good value, and it's the reason why he's been a 551 commander, and probably one of the best ones in the history of the game. And he can still be a 551 investment in 2025 if you have him at that stage. Why is that the case? Well, Hidden Bloodline, it hits exactly one target, you get 10% defense, or 20 if it's maxed. But the second skill is the rage. You get 150 rage if you hit two or more targets. Now, before, when you released, which is back in 2022, granted, you didn't see too many marches on the field, so chances to fire off his awkward AoE shape to hit more targets was lesser. But now, everything's so jam-packed, you have really no issue hitting this active skill and getting all the rage and extra defense on your lineup and marches around it. So very good value even at 1 point. And like I mentioned, expertise is basically just enhancing the third skill, and it doesn't enhance it too much. You only get 10% extra attack and 100 damage factor increase on the direct damage. So the main reason is, I know William is a very versatile commander, and I remember using it, and he was part of the best 551 march you could have, which is Saladin with William. And this was such a great budget march, probably like years. And I remember using it, and I remember it was quite tanky, and Saladin offered William what he needed. He needed some stats, defensive stats, and more tankiness from the third skill. So this was a very reliable march, and I remember using it and having good reports with it. But over the years, William got into a weird pecking order, because with the release of Nevsky and Joan, he was not the first choice, and he was the second choice for commanders like XY and Huo later down the road. But ever since we got Belisarius Prime and Arthur, he got really pushed down. But with the release of Combo and the pairing with Arthur primary and William's secondary allows you to have more beneficial commanders in the lineup. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say you initially wanted to use Arthur with Philip, which is a great pairing. But if you have a triple file 1 William from the past, maybe some people do, and if you even have him maxed, even better, you could pair up Arthur with William, and you can free up the Philip to be used with an archer march like Zug, with an infantry march like Luce, and having both William and Philip in the lineup, I think is just more beneficial, and it's very strong because it offers a lot of buffs, it offers a lot of rage, and also deduces a lot of rage if you look at Philip's fourth skill. And simply having more like AoE on the field is more beneficial in this current meta, and having more rage just means you're gonna be able to fire off your skills more frequently. And in this back and forth meta, rage and insta-proc damage is all you want, and William offers both of those things. He has the insta-proc damage, which is very broken with Arthur, and he has the rage and more defensive stats, and he has a buff that is not replicated. So this debuff right here for 3 seconds probably halves the output of a skill damage commander, preferably archers, because Zhuge Liang has 20% damage skill damage bonus. This does not apply when William hits his active skill. And with Arthur, primary, you just know the rage gain is crazy if you have a horn on him, and if it's a crit horn, you're going to be able to fire off the active skill so fast that it only makes these type of bonuses obsolete. And to be fair, you don't need you don't even need more debuffs to like negate archers on the field, because they are the weakest on the field right now. They just die so quickly and get out of position most often that it's not the main like concern. But the main concern is having more rage on the field, having more buffs on the field, and having more debuffs as well. So this video is for those who have over the years invested into William, and you know, after each Cali release he might have been replaced, and now you can find a way to bring him back, especially now since he got a museum buff this past update. And it's not something that's, you know, too game changing, but if you use him, you get it, and it's better than nothing. Okay, it's certainly better than nothing, and it gives you options that you might not have had before, and it gives you relevant and meta options for the current meta in the open field battle. And with all that said, if I had a choice, if I look at my calorie, I use Nevsky with Arthur, and as you can see, it's a wedge set. So there is a caveat to this. In order to use this lineup successfully, like Arthur with William, you need a delta formation, and not even just that. You need the causative. You need the butterfly to make it work as intended. And I think, let's see, which it's, where is it? Yeah, this is the instrument, right? So the instrument is unfortunately one of those pieces that you can't be easily updated. It's not a scroll and it's not a flag, so you can't get it from the merchant. So you have to rely on luck or the pity system to get it. You might have some rare inscriptions from other types, then you can use a convert token to make the switch. And to do it for causative or butterfly is certainly worth it. And for me, that is my roadblock. I can't do that switch just yet. But let me tell you just this, the point of this. If I had a chance of staying with Nevsky Arthur with Wedge, and switching to Arthur and William with Delta, I would use Arthur with William, because we see how broken combo attacks are. We see how much damage it does. And this pairing offers more AoE. You know, relatively. It gives you more beneficial buffs for you, for your other marches, and for your kingdom. And I think the more you have these type of marchers, the better you will perform in KVK, in Osiris League, in regular arc, wherever. And I think you should always try to understand and strive towards that goal. Don't be selfish. Think about the bigger picture. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.